Hey, assholes. Well, I finally read this book. I'm still in the process of this. I'll show you how far it is in a minute. Oh, man. Oh, man. 5 issues, and I'm going to stick with the series because I think it's going to end soon. Yeah? Like, they only have it up until October, which is, what is it, 2 months? 2 months from now. I don't think this is gonna. I don't think it's gonna make 10 issues. It's awful. It's awful, guys. It's fucking atrocious. Whoever first wrote She-Hulk, which I think was Stan Lee. I think it was created by Stan Lee for sure. So much happens in this book. In every issue. And nothing happens in this one. It's Stan Lee who created it, and some other dude who wrote it. When I do a review of the entire omnibus, I'm not going to give out spoilers too many spoilers in the omnibus. So far, I've read maybe a third. It's totally worth it. Stupid finger. It has a cover. It has a slip cover. This is just what it looks like without the slip cover. And this is hot garbage that if you put on a wet surface, because I just cleaned a table, there was kid gunk on it. Anyways, first I want to explain something. I just finished watching a video from Thinking Critical about the She-Hulk CG, and I already made a video about what I think about the new She-Hulk show, and I didn't really complain about the CG. I didn't care. It looked awful, but I figured they were just going to fix it up in post-production before they air that shit. It was more like she can do better things than the Hulk that pissed me off. He does the thunderclap, and then she does it, and it's stronger. He throws a stone, she does it, and it's further. He does quantum math, physics, mechanics, and she does it in her sleep. He does a yoga position. She does it and has like dildos in her ass or some shit, and we're all like, oh, that's real impressive. I have it on the strong vibrate, but do you even feel it at that point? I'm curious. Does she have better orgasms or easier to achieve orgasm if she was Jen versus the She-Hulk? We'll never know. There should be someone out there asking the hard-hitting questions. I'm sure if you asked John Byrne, he'd have an answer. Oh, people keep saying it's John Byrne's She-Hulk. It's not. It looks more like this She-Hulk. Oops. This She-Hulk. Now the paper's all wet and stuff. Gross. Actually, there's a schmutz on her pants. Oh my God, is that gunky fingers now? Oh no, that's from when I was reading it. Oh no. Hey, actually, if you look at it, it's kind of like almost appropriately positioned. Almost. Anyways, my issue with the new She-Hulk has nothing to do with the way it looks. I don't care about that. Could be the worst CG ever. Like, well, that's fine. I still watch Hoodwink. That's a funny ass movie. The CG looks atrocious, especially when you compare it to today, but still a good movie. Yeah. Still watch some old ass Disney movies, Still watch some old Studio Ghibli's movies. Some of them don't seem like to have like a real coherent story. Like My Neighbor Totoro, as great as it was, I'm like, but what's the point? Is this the kids just trying to cope with their mom in the hospital, but they don't really make a big emphasis on why she's there? Or is it just the kids trying to cope to moving to a new place? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe I was really tired. Anyways. The thing that pisses me off about, especially modern day feminism, and I bring it up because of this trailer and what the people said in their own, about the show that's coming out, which doesn't really reflect too much on what Rainbow's doing. But I wanted to bring it up since it's on the topic, is that 2008, I was in Cégep. Cégep is like a college, but in Quebec. And it's an acronym, and I think the C is obviously college, and then the other ones are like erection, pigs, erection again, I don't know. And we had to take a humanities class, which is philosophy. But if you said it in French, it would be a philosophy class. But I had a humanities class of philosophy, so that would be a philosophy class of philosophy in French. French people are so funny. Anyways, one of the humanities classes I had to take was a debate class. And very often we would debate. This teacher was super cool. His structure for the debate was, well, for those of us who aren't too sure about the school of thought, which none of us were really, not at the time, was Marxist feminists and, whatever else. And then, we'd watch movies, and we even went to go to a local theater to see a theater group put on Raisin in the Sun. And we read the play beforehand. And actually, from that day forward, I actually started buying tickets at that theater to see other productions. I saw a holiday production, and when they were swearing and somebody jerking off a hockey stick and pretending to jizz on someone, I was like, wow, what are the old ladies going to think when they see this shit? And then I remembered working in a retirement home. Old ladies are super pervy. I heard an old lady talk about giving a blowjob with or without her top dentures. And I'm like, holy fuck. And I wish I was making it up, but I wasn't. I came back. I was the dishwasher / sous chef, but the waitress was, one of them didn't show up. So I had to take a few tables. And I came back and I'm like, oh my God, did you hear what those ladies were talking about? She's like, oh my God, they're so disgusting. The other waitress said, oh my God, it's refreshing to hear them talk about this kind of shit. Anyways, we're way too far detached. In the course, the feminist ideologies, we went through various different things that they were fighting for, the reason that they existed, and the plays and stuff that we saw reflected that. Although they're very old plays, or they're very old stories. Why? Because most of what feminism, the last time feminism was relevant, is now part of society. The wages is the same. You can argue whatever you want to argue. But I didn't get paid as much as I get paid now where I used to work, doing the same thing, more or less. So, you don't like what you're getting paid, you either talk to management, and if that don't work, you leave. You don't just stick around and continue to be butt raped by your pay. You cannot play the blame game all the fucking time. It's time to put on your big boy pants and do something. Now, some people are like, well, you don't know. Some woman was on maternity leave, and she came back and her position was gone. I'm like, yeah, is that everywhere? That's one account. Well, it's several accounts. It's like several places shut down an entire. I don't think you can do that. Then the place she was working at was sketch. She needed to work for a more popular place. I worked at Deloitte. There ain't no way you're going to come back and your position's gone. If you work in a place where whether you're there or not, makes an impact on the job, it makes zero impact, then yeah, you should be afraid of your position disappearing because it won't be there. They can easily do that for sure. But no one's going to crush out a job. I'm in the, even at Target, that would never happen. Or Walmart. So I really don't know where that person was. Anyways, their school of thought is dated by today because everything that they fought for is now implemented in society. So today's feminism is kind of a joke because there's really nothing more to implement. Now it's just stupid reiteration. We have to teach men that rape is not an option. I'm sorry. Rape is not an option. No dude is going, hey, Todd, what'd you do this weekend? Bill. Yeah, I went to the gym. And it was leg day on Saturday, and I did, chest for the third day in a row on Sunday. What? Yeah, I don't know. And then, hey, Bill, what'd you do? Went to go see a movie. Todd, what'd you do? Well, there was that hot Asian girl I keep seeing on the way home. So I decided to have my way with her on Friday night. Whoa, no way. Oh, yeah, kicking and screaming. She even tried to shit her pants like that was going to deter me. Right? These women shitting their pants. No one is having this conversation. No one. You know why? Because it's illegal. It's like someone saying, hey, man, I just killed a few people. Oh, really? Yeah, this one motherfucker, man, he looked at me cross-eyed, so I shot him in the eyes. It was poetic. No one's doing that. You know why? Illegal and frowned upon. So when they're like, rape is not an option, everyone fucking knows that. I don't have to teach my kid that forcing himself onto someone is not an option. They know this. It's not even a natural thing people do. Yeah? So like, hey, Bill, how the forcing yourself onto things happened the other way? Oh, it was fantastic. Yeah, it was really short though. I'm gonna have to boost up my game. So I started, doing CrossFit. No, this doesn't work that way. So all these other things that they kept saying, I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? There's no reason for this. There's one woman, and this will be the last topic I bring up. There's already been 11 minutes of this shit. I haven't even talked about the comic book yet. It's just that I find it such a waste of time, this feminism shit. And it has nothing to do with this book. But the TV show, yeah, it might. So this girl I actually slept with, I used to work with, we hooked up. And hooking up with her brought my ex-girlfriend into jealousy. Then she wanted to go back out with me. And I was like, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. And it worked out. Great story. I can probably go into detail another time. However, the hooking up with my friend from work, it was her idea. It wasn't mine. As far as I was concerned, she wasn't even interested in that kind of stuff. She said she was bi and was more interested in getting a girlfriend at this point. And I was like, cool. I didn't have long hair at the time, so I really didn't fit the bill, if you know what I mean. But I guess when you're bi, sometimes getting pounded by a cock is just something you want. I don't know. Even fake cocks, maybe not up to snuff. Who knows? Or maybe it was just a cool story to make her seem more alluring to men. I don't know. I don't talk to her anymore, and this is why. She wrote a story about something that happened to her the night before at the Metro. Not the grocery store. Those of you not sure, we have a grocery store called Metro in Quebec. I hate it. It's expensive. I'd rather go to Maxi or Provigo. Those are better ones. Super C, but like their produce section is sketch. Anyways, so she's like, oh, this guy was hollering at a girl. He wouldn't leave her alone. He was drunk, so I stepped in and told him to fuck off and I'll call the police. He's like, yeah, whatever, call the police. And then I was like, I'm calling right now. And then he fucked off. And I'm like, oh, this is great, because I love when people stand up for other people, especially when they need it. And she's like, oh, this is why we need feminism. Having just taken my class in feminism, like 6 years prior to when this happened. No, 7 years prior to when this happened. I was going through my head thinking, I'm like, no, none of the things you're saying right now is making any sense. Modern day feminism, feminism, the idea already is integrated into society, so it makes no sense. So I wrote, yeah, it's good to stand up. We got to stop bad people, but I fail to see where feminism would change anything. And oh, fuck. This is before I even knew who Ben Shapiro was, or Steven Crowder, or Larry Elder, or PragerU, or any of these other opposite of this ideologies people. I was just using common sense and logic. And holy crap, I got not taken advantage of. I got forced upon by these people. Oh my God. They forced themselves right on me. Didn't even take me out to dinner or nothing. So sorry, I'm trying to find a way to hold the phone and not like shake it so much, or not reveal too much of my dirty living room. The carpet is in dire need of vacuuming. The dog's fur sheds everywhere. And I wrote, so she was like, educate yourself. And that's clue 2 to me going, no, then you don't know what you're talking about. And I said so. I'm like, no, because what you're saying happens to men. And men are more likely to be the victims of, and this is something I already knew, the victims of assault more than a woman would be, or even death, like a murder, than a woman would be. Just random happenstance in the street. So How about instead of having just your blinders of, ooh, we need feminism, how about we just need more police? We need more security. We need more maybe CCTV, stuff like that. So people are less likely to want to do anything because they're caught on camera, and then someone's going to be like, hey, what the fuck is that? Court jail, right? So maybe that's what we want. And I'm like, and if you're going to take an ideology, feminism is so outdated since most of the stuff is already integrated into our society. Why don't you maybe think or try to follow the Japanese social construct where it's more about the socially, you think, not as an individual, but as the entire society, where, they're quiet on the train. Even punk looking dudes, even scary looking motherfuckers from, what is it? Not Shinjuku, Harajuku. Like, even though the bizarre looking eccentric cosplayers are respectful on the train or respectful in public, there's a whole cultural, social way of being that would definitely make it so that rape and stuff like that would be less of a problem, right? Nope, I don't know what I'm talking about. And I said, hey, listen, man, when we were hooking up, the week before, we were together at my house at like 2, 3 a.m. And you stayed over until the buses started running again because we stayed at the bar too late. And, none of us were able to drive. I couldn't drive, and she didn't have her car and was too inebriated to drive. So she sent me a text the next day saying, I should just had my way with you. And I'm like, damn, yeah. And here she is talking about how rape is bad, and yet that's exactly what she wanted to do. Have her way with me against my consent. Although I would probably given my consent because I was like, yeah, I was just in between a relationship. And so years down the line, I mentioned this. I'm like, oh, you're the one who said you wanted to do that. And then she hit me with the Japanese stuff and what I had just said being incoherent babble. I thought you were better than that, stuff like that. But when someone tells you to educate yourself, no. In an argument, when you have the answer, you're chomping at the bit. You're frothing at the mouth to shut them down. Like, you ever see these people who try to, well, actually, Jim Cornette is not out of touch, which is something I believe. That people are like, Jim Cornette's out of touch. He doesn't know anything about modern day wrestling. Modern day wrestling has to be super flippy dippies and and all that shit. And you're like, no, it doesn't have to be that at all. Like, stupid. The reason John Cena and a lot of other popular, anyways, topic for another day. The point is, people are chomping at the bit to like shut you down with their information. When someone's like, educate yourself, you cisgendered, I didn't even know what cis man. I'm like, what's a Sheswa sauce man? I looked at my friend who's sitting in front of me. This happened at work, and I was on Facebook at work, and I'm like, what's a Sheswa sauce male? And he's like, what? Yeah, apparently I'm a cisgendered male. Sorry. I don't fucking know idea. I don't know. So I have to look it up. Oh, it's a term for normal people. I'm like, well, why is there a term for normal people? Why not just normies? Wouldn't that be? No, because it has to be a derogatory term. It has to be able to say, hey, you who's normal, who likes your penis where it is and likes to fuck the vaginas and female assholes, you have this term now. So eventually us cisgendered males are going to be like, we're going to hear that cis shit from somebody, but hey, excuse me, are you cis yourself? She said, no. Then that's our word. You can't use our word. That's going to be how that goes on. All that to say, even without Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, or any of these other guys who are like, or shoe on head, if you will, I was able to outwit, smart, class, everything, one of these feminazis before I even knew what that shit was. And they want to continue to put this in our media, and you expecting this to do any good. No. Do better. So in this, we'll get to this now. I'm about that much in. Yeah, I use a Yu-Gi-Oh card as a bookmark. It's pretty dang good, but it's not this She-Hulk that is on the show. It's not John Byrne. This is, well, I'll talk about it another time. So this one, Rainbow. So remember how the last one left off, right? Somebody was calling Jack. Oh, we're finally going to see something. I don't care. You guys can watch my video. I'm showing all pages this time. So this Neanderthal shows up. Again, the stupid, dumb crap here. Jan Walters doesn't want to hurt anyone, prepared to do it anyway. Jonathan Hartz, Jack of Hearts. Formerly dead, recently alive, currently confused. Who knows who this guy is? Could have been Rhino. Oh, Starlux Coffee and Burger Ring. I love those places. I love Starbucks. So you like capitalism? No, fuck capitalism. Starbucks. So, if anything, I always say the art is always fantastic in these books, and that's probably the only reason I give it 2 stars when I put it in my geeks something list. So she fights this dude, but like, now this is a chance for a fight scene. And look at how they piss all over this. Hey, whoa, who are you, Jack? Do you think Jack stole the tart? I think that's what he keeps saying. Jack of Hearts. Did you know who this is? No. Stole the tarts. That does it. I'm gonna sumo slap you. Ha! Pow! Right? Like, what are you doing? Why hit him with your weakest move? You should try go super crazy. And this is what she should have done right away. Not this. She should put him in a sleeper hold. Or a rear naked choke, I guess if you could say. Come on, Powers. Oh, I have ED for my powers. Of course he does. She has to be the most emasculated thing, right? She has to save him. Go away. Then he's like, that's it. With the chair. My God. He's broken in half. And she's like, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab a couple of these chairs. No, she doesn't. She just tries to use them as a way to get back up. Then she finally slugs him. Oh, my God. And he skids right on that. This is great. Thank you, artist. And he's like, ah, shit. He's back up. He tries to punch. He double arm blocks it, which is kind of stupid. At this point, he should have just moved a little bit and then pushed his arm this way. It would have thrown him off for the second fist. He would have been off balance, and then you can go for a rib shot. All right, so anyways, she looks like all scratched up. She's like, I don't want to hurt you, but... No, I'm not Harley Quinn. Stop. He's confused. Oh, stole the tarts. Yeah, you're okay, big guy. And that's it. She looks like, hey, you can't just beat up and hit and run. You know, she's a fucking lawyer. She's a lawyer. She doesn't do anything. Like, I'm fucking gonna put the prosecution foot on your ass. You're just gonna serve some jail time. This is assault. This is battering. Sorry, not even assault. It's battering. Nothing. Hey, you don't understand. He's a special needs guy. It's kind of like Tweedledee and Tweedledum. In one of the Batman Urban Legends. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. There's like a problem with one of them, and the other one's trying to solve it with money, and like no one's listening. This guy looks just as dumb as those fucks. So again, what? No, he's special. You're. And like she even said something here, and I thought I'm gonna move the camera so I can read it because I can't see through my phone. What are you gonna do? Call the police? Will that help? The King of Hearts. But not every superhuman is as super as you. Just let us be. So not every superhuman is super. When I read it for the first time, I'm like, so if this dude fought Spider-Man and broke him in half and walked away, that's okay. Like I understood that as like she should check her privilege in terms that like, you know, not everybody can be as good as her. You know, I'm like, what does that even have to do? Then I realized as I was going through the book, oh, she means that he's super, it's just that he's special in the head. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Disabled people. Of course. Look, if someone's dangerous and just punched She-Hulk and like wrecked a few things, they should be in jail. Or they should pay a fine or something. So they put things back together. Are you okay? Oh, I'm okay. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Are you okay? Yeah, sure. I'm sorry. I don't remember anything. I'm sorry you got hurt. Your poor dress. Right? And they're still here talking. None of this dialogue is important. None of this dialogue pushes anything. He still has amnesia. This is not a clear indication of something that happened to him in the past. Nothing. Now they're cleaning things up while this guy has an angry shit in his pants. Aw, poor George Perez. He was definitely a talented guy. Yeah, what are they doing now? Eating at a restaurant. She's back looking like Jen. Conversation. It doesn't go anywhere erotically. It doesn't go anywhere in terms of character or storytelling, development, nothing. Only thing is, he's trying to figure out a way that he can live on his own. He doesn't want at first he's like, maybe I should be prepared if the Avengers show up. And then maybe I'll just keep hidden. Maybe I don't need to be prepared. And she's like, yeah, you should prepare. No, you shouldn't be hidden. What are you going to do? Well, I'll run away. I have a place. Where is it? It's Vermont? He mentions it a few times. Anyways. Dialogue. Nothing to bring. Just a couple of jokes. You know. Says he's eating Brussels sprouts. Nothing on his plate is green. God damn. Connecticut, I think is what it was. It wasn't Vermont, it was Connecticut. Yeah, Connecticut right there. I still have a mansion there. Well, what if it's not there? What if someone sublet it or something? I'll figure it out. That's it. Back and forth. Dialogue. Nothing come back to my place. Nothing I'm interested in you. Nothing let's go retrace your steps. Nothing. You know? Let's go see a non-Avengers doctor. Oh, maybe I should tell him about what happened with... And look at this. Her heel broke. She looks like a fool falling, as most people would. He stands there. He just stands there like a complete idiot. The old lady helps her up. Oh, he's afraid to pick her up because he's afraid to steal her power again. He's afraid to touch her. And then he uses that machine, which looks like he's actually giving her, like, doing this. You know? That's what it looks like he's doing. Can you sit on that? What do you think? She's like, my She-Hulk could take your whole head. And he's like, oh, attractive. I like trying to fill up the Grand Canyon with hot dogs. Anyway, so this is an indicator. She can tell how really not drawn in it is. Oh, no, you're very radioactive. All the boys say that. Jokes. Jokes for nothing. And then she's alone. On a bench. And then some person's talking. Don't worry. He's not dangerous because you can see. Well, who must that be? Well, obviously, Rhino's specialer brother with Harley Quinn. The end. What happened? What happened in this book? Oh, Nightcrawler in the next one. What happened in this book? Nothing. What did this prove? Nothing. What did this do? Nothing. What did this push? Nothing. What's the point? No point. This is just yet another issue 2. All these books could have been boiled down to they've had a very enchanted evening, catching up and trying to decide how best to tackle his situation. And then it goes to a conversation bubble where it's like, maybe we should retrace your steps. Yeah. So here's a pad. Write down everything you've done. So this way, in case amnesia starts to hit you more, maybe it's more short-term memory you're having a hard time with too, and see where we can figure out, and we'll go tomorrow. Okay, so he writes down a list of all the places he's been before coming to her house. Then the next day they go, and then something triggers a memory or something. Yeah? It's been 5 issues. There hasn't been a triggered memory at all. How long until there's something? 5 issues. This will be a trade. The first 5 issues would be a trade of nothing. Of fucking nothing. I felt sorry for Rainbow. I thought maybe she was just, Now, okay, tell you what. By the end, or right now they have the one in October. By October, when I read that one, 2 weeks prior, I'll come up with an idea of how to do this story better. Because there's one thing to complain about it. There's another thing to figure out how to do it better or how I would have tackled it. I have an idea for another video series that I'm going to do about why I canceled some of my subscriptions and then tell you what I would have done that's different. I got a few of them, Arrow and Power Rangers. And wait till you hear the one about Power Rangers. I've actually talked to some of the people that about my Power Rangers idea, and they're like, oh shit, that's actually good. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should be a writer. I'm not a writer. I mean, I'm in the process of writing something, but my idea, I need an editor like bad, because my ideas are just a mishmash. They're like scattered too far across. But anyways, this was hot fucking atrocious shit. Again, this was the only reason this book was at all good is that there was a fight sequence and She-Hulk looked good. That's it. This is a terrible series. This is a stain on the She-Hulk legacy. If you want to read a She-Hulk, read this one. The writer, yeah, there you go. David Anthony Kraft. Stanley did number 1, but 2 to 25, and then Marvel 2-in-1 number 88 was David Anthony Kraft. So quickly, there's Bruce Banner, and he's in China, God, right? So he's with his sister. They're catching up. She's a lawyer. He remembers the terrible shit that happened to him, and he's telling her about it. She can't believe it. He's telling her she needs to be careful. She's like, yeah, whatever. Gets shot. Bow, right in the back. Now, because of his run-in with the law, he can't bring her to the hospital. There's a guy, right? He got the hose to the face, and they made their escape. And the neighbors. Gives him a blood transfusion because can't go to the hospital. Calls the cops. They come by and get her, right? He hopes she's okay. What happened? He's looking in the paper to see if there's anything about it. She wakes up. Doesn't know what's going on. 3 guys come in. She's a little terrified. And what happens when she gets terrified? Sexiness happens. Boom. She rolls the bed. Look at all this shit that happens. And they explain, oh my God, she threw this, what was it? She lifted a whole iron bed like it was nothing. Right? That's how you explain feats. That's something that's missing today. Rips open this thing, pulls up the elevator, and they get out, and she chases them. They get out, grabs a post, throws it, knocks out the wheels, pulls the guy out. Cops show up. She makes her getaway. Comes back. She's starting to change back because she has a limit. And she's back in her thing, and her clothes are back to normal, which is like the thing that bothers me the most. She's like, what the fuck happened? We'll find out next time. Right? How much happened? Met up with her cousin. He explained what he's going through. She's explained what she's gone through. The conversation went somewhere. It wasn't just back and forth for the sake of having a conversation. So now we're caught up with what everybody's doing. We go into something that happens. She gets shot. And we get a reason on why he can't just bring her to the hospital and why he has to work fast. And she's a back brace, which I'll mention in the next issue. Then what happens? Oh, she's in the hospital and recovering, and the 3 guys are there to stop him. Those guys are hired by the person she's defending against in court, and they're coming in to finish the job. It scares her, gets her angry, frustrated, whether flight or fight, and it was fight. She turned green, super big boobs, grabbed the bed, threw it at him, kicked the shit out of them, chased them down, pulled up an elevator, chased them, threw a sign to knock out the wheels of their car. They got arrested. She's okay. She gets back in her room like nothing happened. What the fuck is the difference here? Gets into a fight. Nothing happens. Talk. I'm going to go to Connecticut and I'm going to live in my castle. Maybe it's still there. That's it. Oh, and a crazy special needs guy with not Harley Quinn. Thank you so much, Rainbow. Good thing that a guy from the 80s who cares about his job does a better job than someone in 2022 who probably thinks that they're owed this job. And that's the difference in talent right there. Peace off, bitches.